Before we get started with today's interview, just a quick reminder, click the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and ding the bell so that you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have coming up. Now, on to today's interview. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Dr. Kevin Olson is here to discuss some of his compositions on the new list. Kevin, thank you so much for taking time to join me today.
Thank you, Sam. This is a lot of fun.
So today, we're going to be talking about Kevin's book, Imaginations, Book 2. There's a lot of awesome pieces in this book. You really have to pick it up, play through it, work with your students. They're going to love it. The first piece in here I want to talk about is Kaleidoscope. And this piece has this beautiful, mature sound. I can see using this piece with a student who's a later beginner, with my adult students. It has a great flowing 3/4 feel. It's wistful sounding and beautiful. It's imbibed with this wonderful pop efficacy. And talk to us a little bit about how you put this piece together.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, it's a piece that was certainly title generated. I said in a previous video that sometimes when I get a little bit stuck, I have a file that has probably hundreds of titles that I can just look through and say, what am I in the mood to compose today? So this is one where I really like the idea of colors and patterns kind of interchanging and weaving. So when the improvisation kind of started with this piece, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about really harmony as color and harmonies that are changing back to back. So I really started to explore, in this kind of F major tonal center, ways that I might be able to do some unpredictable things harmonically and in kind of maybe a popular or jazz style.
Talk to us a little bit about how you would have students approach these 3-note slurs and 3-note groupings in the left hand.
Yeah, I think it would be a really interesting discussion, especially if you have students playing waltzes and other types of 3/4 meter, that we often think that the most important beat in 3/4 time is the downbeat. But really, in many cases, especially if you're going for a lightness of sound, the third beat gets a little bit more emphasis often in in a 3/4 time. It keeps it from sounding heavy, like an elephant waltz or something like that. And so really having the students counting it as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In social dance, that's where you're on your tippy toes, right? So I like the idea of students thinking about the third beat, not as a weak or wimpy beat, but as a beat that's kind of propelling you to the first beat. It helps in a piece like this that those are the beats that have the eighth notes in them. So you're thinking 3 and 1, 3 and 1. You notice my emphasis is almost on the and more than the one. So I think a good way for students to not sound too heavy on this piece is to put the emphasis and the drop into the third beat, and then the lift coming out on the first beat. So and that's pretty consistent throughout. There's a place in the middle section where the beat gets a little bit disrupted, and then you're thinking about 1 and 2, 3 and 1. So now the beat is kind of shifting into this almost 2 + 2 + 2 types of things. So I think, it's an opportunity for students to think about grouping 3-note phrases and being light on the last note.
What great imagery about this rhythm carrying us across the bar line and helping that to inform the way we place emphasis as we're performing this work. That's super helpful, super awesome. What other things should students be thinking about as they are performing Kaleidoscope?
Yeah, I think a danger in a piece that has a left hand that's in the low bass clef is tending to be a little bit heavy, at least bottom heavy in a piece like this. So I think it would be really also important for students to be thinking about balance in this. The left hand provides harmonic support, but in most cases, it's not the melodic focus. It's providing a little bit of rhythmic counterpoint. So when the right hand is going 3 and then the left hand goes 1 and 2, the left hand is behind the scenes. But I think that could also subvert what we talked about earlier, which is a little bit of a downbeat heavy piece if the left hand is crashing into that first beat. So I think that would be something to be working on with students, is a very light left hand, maybe by itself for a while, and maybe you and the student can play a duet, and you as the student can trade places in who is the soloist, who's the accompanist. So they're really thinking in a little bit of depth in their balance.
That's excellent advice. I love that. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Kaleidoscope?
Well, I just think in most of the cases in a piece like this, we're really focusing in on all of those musical markings that the composer's putting in here. So it's a challenging piece, a 4-page piece for a student this level already. But I would say that their work is not done once they get the notes and rhythm solid. That's when the real work starts, and the fun work, but the interpretive work on this. So you'll notice that within, at least every page or half page, there is some kind of new musical marking. And all of those have been carefully thought through. So crescendos, decrescendos are not optional. That's something that the composer is really intending to put in there. And usually there's been discussion with an editor. So I would say for students to really do their best in trying to make this piece have shape through the markings that I've provided.
Awesome advice and a great challenge to students. I love that. Kevin Olson's book is Imaginations, Book 2. Make sure you pick it up at your quality local retailer. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Sam. See you.